Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into the Hungarian Grand Prix's first session, Free Practice 1. Think of it like this. You've got all these live updates, driver quotes, team news flying around, and you just need to know what actually matters. So that's what we'll do. We'll pull out the key facts, the big insights, the real aha moments from the track today, and, all the buzz beforehand.
Yeah, it's such a crucial session, FP1, isn't it? It's not just about who's fastest right then.
Right.
It's like a first look under the hood for the weekend. You see team strategies starting to form, how drivers are feeling, if those new car parts are actually working.
Okay.
We're going to connect those fast laps with, the odd mechanical issue, the big news stories, really get into the why behind it all. So what jumped out at you even before the cars hit the track?
Well, even before the lights went green, there was loads to talk about. The paddock was definitely buzzing. Let's start with maybe the biggest surprise, the absence of a certain two-time world champion.
Yes, Fernando Alonso.
Yeah.
Confirmed out of FP1. It's that back injury he picked up in Belgium, apparently. Mm-hmm. Aston Martin's Mike Crack was, pretty cautious. So the plan is FP2 for Fernando, but the rest of the weekend, still up in the air, being evaluated.
And what does that mean for the team right now? Felipe DRUGOVICH stepped in for FP1.
Exactly. And he spent the session doing aero testing. Lots of that bright paraffin paint on the car, to see how the air's flowing.
Right, the flow V.
Yeah. So it tells you Aston Martin were using that time for data gathering with him, not chasing headline times, which makes sense.
Okay. And then the other huge story off track, Max Verstappen's future. That finally got put to bed.
Oh, yeah. That was big. Verstappen himself just came out and, squashed all those Mercedes rumors flat. Mm-hmm. Said he's staying at Red Bull till 2026.
Pretty direct about it, too.
Very. It's time to end the rumors, I think he said. That's massive for Red Bull, obviously.
Yeah.
Just locks in their star driver, ends any distraction. Stability.
And Ferrari, they had their own big announcement, too, didn't they? In the management structure?
They did. Confirmed a multi-year extension for Fred Vasseur, the team principal. That's really crucial for them. Shows commitment, continuity as they're trying to, build something long-term.
Right. Building momentum. Okay. And then McLaren. You have to talk about McLaren after Spa. Absolutely dominant. How did they look coming into Hungary?
Well, Oscar Piastri arrived leading the championship, didn't he? Fresh off that Spa win.
Yep. 266 points. Norris close behind, too.
Exactly. Piastri was pretty blunt about it, said something like the championship is a thing between the two of them.
Bold.
It is bold. But, look at their form. He thinks they've got the best car, and it's hard to argue right now. Meanwhile, you had Aston Martin bringing back some aero parts that didn't quite work in Spa.
Trying again here in Hungary.
Yeah, hoping for better luck. Apparently, Adrian Newey wasn't heavily involved with those specific bits, interestingly, but it just shows how critical aero is here. High downforce track, every little bit counts.
Okay, so let's get to the track action then. Lights go green for FP1. Lewis Hamilton, one of the first out. What were you seeing early on? Tires, pace.
Yeah, Hamilton was out quickly. We saw a bit of a mix on tires to start. Most went for the mediums, the C4 compound this weekend. But a few, like Sainz, Albon, Stroll, Tsunoda, they started on the hards, the C3s. Pirelli brought the C3, C4, C5 range. So hard, medium, soft.
Got it. And early pace.
Geza Kadger actually popped up early. Then George Russell went quickest for a bit.
Yeah.
1.1.1111, I think.
But the McLarens, they didn't waste much time, did they? What did their early running tell you?
No, they didn't. Piastri and Norris came out, and Norris pretty quickly went P1 with a 1.1 10.413.
Even on the mediums?
Yeah. It kind of made you wonder, have they just absolutely nailed the setup straight out of the box? Or maybe others were on completely different run plans. Williams looked decent early on, too, on the hards. Sainz was P2 briefly, Albon P3, good signs for them.
Right. Now, mid-sessions can sometimes lull a bit, but this one had its share of drama. Some mechanical gremlins showing up?
Yeah. Never a dull moment, is there?
Yeah.
Tough break for Paul Aron, the rookie in Hülkenberg Sauber. Had to stop early.
What was it?
A critical systems alarm on the car. Caused a yellow flag for a bit. You just know the engineers were scrambling then. And Pierre Gasly in the Alpine reported no power. Got called back to the pits too.
Ouch.
It's just that reminder, isn't it? These cars are pushed right to the edge. Things break.
And then this usually signals a shift in the session, the point where teams bolt on the soft tires, the C5?
Exactly. That's when things tend to liven up. Happened around 28 minutes in, I think. The softs started appearing.
Who went first?
Franco Colapinto was one of the early ones. Jumped straight up to P6. Shows you the immediate grip gain, right?
Definitely.
Then you saw the wave saints, Leclerc, Piastri, Verstappen, Hamilton, all switching to the softs for their quali sims. Low fuel, push laps, see what the cars really got.
And this is where McLaren, well, particularly Lando Norris, just seemed to find another gear. Talk us through that.
Yeah, Norris just, destroyed the stopwatch, as one report put it. That final lap, a 1.16.052, just stunningly fast.
Wow.
And it's not just the time itself, it's the gap. 7/10 clear of Leclerc in second. That's huge in F1 terms.
What does that suggest?
It suggests McLaren have really, really figured something out with getting those soft tires switched on instantly. Maybe those updates are just working perfectly in these high downforce corners. It was apparently similar to the fastest Q1 times from last year.
In FP1, that's seriously quick.
Mind-blowing, really.
And Piastri backing him up, maintaining that McLaren one too. They seem locked together at the front.
Absolutely. Oscar was second, just 0.142 behind Lando. Some timings had it even closer, like 0.019s at one point.
Yeah.
It shows how tight it is between them.
And pushing hard, too.
Oh, yeah. Piastri had a little moment, went wide at turn 1. Saints did the same earlier. They're both right on the ragged edge. It definitely backs up Piastri's claim about the championship fight being between them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sets up a fascinating internal battle.
Okay, so McLaren clearly the benchmark. But what about the others? Charles Leclerc seemed best of the rest.
Leclerc looks strong. Yeah, consistently up there. Finished third, only 0.2 off Norris in the end, which actually sounds close. But remember that 7/10 gap Norris had initially opened up.
True.
But still, Leclerc showed good pace throughout, often trading fastest times before Norris did that final run. So Ferrari looks like they have a decent base, maybe the closest challenger.
And a bit of a surprise further down, Isaac Hadjar. That was impressive.
Very impressive.
Okay.
For a rookie in FP1 to jump up to fourth right at the end ahead of Hamilton, even if only by 0.009 seconds.
Tiny margin.
Still, grabbing P4 like that definitely gets him noticed. One to watch, for sure.
But on the flip side, a couple of big names seem to struggle a bit more. Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, Sainz had a difficult one. Finished way down in 15th. Couldn't get a clean lap on the softs. Had that early trip off track at turn 1.
He's had a tough run lately.
He has. Only 1 point in the last 5 races, I think. Though he sounded optimistic, saying, the speed hasn't disappeared. But 15th is 15th?
And Hamilton, P5 isn't terrible, but he sounded frustrated.
Audibly frustrated on the radio, yeah. Asking the team where Norris was finding, a second on him. Pointed to turns 5 and 9 specifically. Said the car just doesn't feel good. He even called it his most intense pro season. When Lewis Hamilton says that and sounds that frustrated, it really tells you something about where Mercedes are right now.
And the reigning champion, Max Verstappen. Relatively quiet FP1 for him. Should Red Bull be worried?
Well, he ended up P9, which, for Verstappen is quiet. Definitely off the McLaren pace.
So is it just typical Friday for Red Bull hiding their pace, or?
That's the big question, isn't it? Are they just focusing purely on long-run race pace, where they're usually so strong? Or are they genuinely struggling a bit to dial the car into this twisty, Hungarian layout, especially compared to McLaren?
They often find more by Saturday.
They do. But that gap to McLaren in FP1 was significant. It certainly suggests they've got some homework to do if they want to challenge for pole position.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. What are the big takeaways heading into the rest of the Hungarian Grand Prix weekend? McLaren looks dominant. Norris especially is flying. Piastri right there with him.
Yep.
Ferrari seems competitive, maybe best of the rest with Leclerc. Hadjar impressed. But then you've got clear struggles, or at least frustrations, for Sainz and Hamilton. And Verstappen, well, maybe holding back.
I think that sums it up pretty well. FP1 has really set the scene. McLaren looks like the team to beat, maybe even setting up an intra-team fight for the win. Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, they all seem to be playing catch-up to varying degrees.
There's always a but in F1.
There is. And the big one here is the weather. There's talk of rain, potentially quite heavy, on Sunday for the race. So how much does this dry FP1 running really tell us if the track is soaking wet come race day? Especially for the guys like Sainz or Hamilton who maybe didn't feel comfortable today. Rain can completely reset the order, can it?
Absolutely. It throws everything up in the air.
Exactly. So will McLaren's dry pace translate? Or are we in for a classic wet weather surprise? It really leaves you wondering what Saturday's qualifying, especially Sunday's race, might hold. A lot still